Marvel Studios is preparing for the Avengers Doomsday teaser trailer to be the most important trailer pretty much in Marvel history. John Campea just reported that he spoke to somebody at Disney asking about the trailer, and he got a lot of information about it in terms of how big they plan on this trailer being, and it's going to be massive. It might not even be incredibly long, but it is incredibly important to Marvel Studios that this trailer is absolutely perfect. And according to John Campea, they are doing everything they possibly can to make sure it is indeed perfect. John Campea reported last night that he spoke to Disney and they said they have put together over 30 plus trailers for this movie because they are aware of how much is riding on this. So this has to be, it is the most important trailer of all time for Marvel, or at least so far. They could obviously do bigger ones in the future. But John Campea reported that he's heard all these things about the trailer that we have heard. And he did say he can confirm that a source confirmed to him that it is coming with the release of Avatar: Fire and Ash. So that December 19th release date, that seems to be the date for the trailer, at least in theaters. We'll get to that in a bit though. He called Disney and said, hey, I'm asking about the trailer, or he reached out to Disney. I don't know if he called or emailed, but he said, I'm reaching out about the trailer. And he said sometimes, or a lot of the time they never say anything back, but this time they did. He said, I've heard they're making over like 20 different versions of it. And Disney replied with not 20 different versions, over 30 different trailers for this movie. And he did clarify, this isn't one trailer that has kind of been edited 30 different times. This is literally 30 plus individual trailers Disney has made, and they've branched them out to trailer making companies. Of course, they're doing some themselves, but they've branched them out. They refer to it as a bake-off, having multiple trailer companies make trailers for them and essentially choosing the best one or combining the best parts of the best ones. So Marvel knows how big this is going to be. They know how big that they need it to be. They need this to be absolutely huge because Marvel isn't at its peak right now. When we went into Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, that was peak. That was peak Marvel time. The hype was crazy. Now, not so much. Now there's a lot of casual fans who are not sure if they're going to go see the next Avengers movie in theaters or if they're going to wait until it comes out on streaming. A lot of people have been doing that. A lot of people have doing that. But this is their crown jewel, according to John Campea, and it makes a lot of sense. It does. Marvel knows how much is riding on this. They have to just build the hype like crazy. And according to the reports that we've heard, which now do seemingly been there, it seems like they're true because John Campea just confirmed some things with Disney. So all of this is starting to line up. So it seems like we are going to get a pretty good full look at Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, which is really cool. They don't get a second chance at a first impression, and they know this. The importance of this trailer is massive. Massive. And I love that they are taking this much time. I love that they're putting this much effort into making sure this trailer is absolutely perfect. Now, Campea did talk about what I've been talking about for a while now as well, is this is just a part, not even the first part, but a part of a year-long strategy to promote Avengers Doomsday and get people incredibly hyped. This really started at Comic-Con, which was over a year and a half ago, which is actually kind of crazy to think about, that it was so long ago. That Robert Downey Jr. came out on stage. That was the first part. I do believe that they are using social media in a very clever way to promote it or hype it and get people talking about it. Maybe not that they'll admit, maybe not till years later. But then the next part was the chair video. And now we're getting the teaser trailer. Now, what we've heard about this is it's not really a teaser. We're going to get a really good look at Dr. Doom. But John Campea says it's not going to be a full reveal of the entirety of the story, which of course you shouldn't do. We shouldn't give it all away. But it sounds like Marvel's basically giving us what we want. Everyone wants to know, Robert Downey Jr. back as Dr. Doom, how does he look? They're going to reveal that? Yes. According to reports, they're really going to reveal that. And they're going to give us exactly what we need, I would say. Maybe not 100% what we want, but what we need. And it sounds like this trailer is really going to focus on Doom. Yeah, we're going to see the Avengers and the X-Men and stuff, but it sounds like the main focus really is going to be on Doom. And Marvel knows, and Disney knows that they need to sell this. And this is why they're putting it in front of Avatar. Well, two reasons, really. One is that Avatar does really well at the box office. They know people go and see Avatar, the biggest movies of all time. And this is the third one. They're putting it right in front of the movie. They know people are going to go watch this because they're going to see Avatar. But also at the same time, they know people who weren't going to go see Avatar are going to go buy a ticket just so they can see the trailer coming out right before Avatar Fire and Ash. And John Campea and his team seem to think, what I think as well, Marvel's not going to release the trailer right away online. I think they'll wait a few days, maybe the weekend. Maybe they'll give it the weekend, right? So the trailer comes out Thursday or Friday, depending on where you're at. Sometimes the movie's released earlier, and maybe Monday, the official trailer releases online, which is a good move. This movie has to be bigger than Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Marvel Studios knows that. The Russo brothers know that. The Russo brothers and the cast members, some cast members who have done interviews like Chris Hemsworth and Channing Tatum, a bunch of people doing interviews for other movies or projects that they've done, of course, always get asked about Avengers Doomsday. And they say, well, Channing Tatum really has been the one that's been talking about it a lot recently. But, this is bigger than anything the Russos have ever done before, which is crazy because Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. That's pretty intense. That's pretty big. So to go bigger than all of these, and what's crazy is Infinity War and Endgame were like the culmination of the Infinity Saga, bringing everything together. This is bigger automatically because we are bringing in legacy characters like the X-Men. And I'm sure we're going to see other legacy characters as well, like the old Fantastic Four. I mean, Chris Evans already returned as Johnny Storm. Maybe not that exact Johnny Storm, of course, but we're going to see things like that. We got Blade back, Elektra back, and Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, they're going to go so big for this movie that it's actually kind of insane. So they're going to leverage this trailer for Avatar, but they're also leveraging Avatar for this trailer. It's actually pretty cool the way that they're doing this, but they know, and this is the biggest thing for us Marvel fans, they know that they have to get 95% of people sold for Avengers Doomsday with this first impression, with this first trailer. They have to show this first trailer, and 95% of the people out there have to go, hell yeah, I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that so much that I will go to the theaters to see that when it comes out. I'm not going to wait for it to go to streaming. I will go to the theaters because what I saw looks so freaking good. I have to go see it. I can't wait. That's what this trailer has to do. And the great thing is Marvel knows that this trailer has to do that. It has to be an accurate representation of the movie. There have been times where trailers have been better than movies. I, of course, don't think that's going to be the case for Avengers Doomsday. I think this movie is going to be pretty fantastic because of everything I just said, everything that John Campea said and other insiders have said. Marvel knows what this movie has to be for them, especially because there's a part 2, Secret Wars, and I'm still crossing my fingers that there's going to be a part 3, or like an Avengers Doomsday part 1 and part 2, and then Secret Wars. Or these movies need to be at least 3 hours long each. I need them to be long. I would love a 4-hour movie with an intermission so you can use the bathroom, get a refill and your drink and popcorn, stuff like that. I'd actually love that. I think they should bring that back. Avengers Doomsday 4 hours long with a break at the 2-hour mark, and same thing with Secret Wars. If not, I would really like 3 different parts. But assuming we just get Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, which is probably going to happen because let's just not expect for 3 because we don't want to get our hopes up like that. But having just these 2 movies, this first trailer really is the start of like the next 2 years, the next 3 years really, of how big, how hype Marvel is going to be, which will affect the box office, which of course Marvel cares about, Disney cares about. Remember, these are businesses. I'm not saying they don't love what they do. Kevin Feige clearly loves Marvel Studios. He clearly loves Marvel in general. He's been with Marvel for a very long time. And he loves it. I know that he does. And it seems like everything that we've heard recently, Marvel Studios is back on track. Marvel Studios is back on track to make amazing things again, to make amazing projects. They've slowed down with the TV. They have a whole separate television department now, and Kevin Feige's not even a part of that anymore. That's all Brad Winderbaum, and he is specifically focused on the movies. And this movie, Avengers Doomsday, it's supposed to be everything and Secret Wars. But it's the first time we're going to see Robert Downey Jr. as Doom. Now, don't expect to find out how he became who he is, maybe a little hint at it. If we do get Chris Evans in there, we've heard a recent report that Doom really doesn't like Steve Rogers. Doom thinks Steve Rogers did something that directly affected him, not just affected the entire multiverse, and that's why he's going after him and other people, but no, specifically going after Steve Rogers. If they decide to include Steve Rogers in one of these trailers, perhaps we get a little bit of the backstory, but they're not going to give us the full thing, at least not until maybe the final trailer or the very first full trailer, which could come with Spider-Man Brand New Day, we've heard. But either way, I'm really glad that Marvel Studios is aware that this trailer needs to be just an absolute banger. Probably the best that they've ever released before. And they've released some good ones, but that's what they're aiming for. And they have 30 plus trailers that they have made already. Which one will they choose? We'll have to wait and see. How long will it be? We'll have to wait and see. But I'm hyped hearing about this, hearing that they're putting so much care and effort into this. But hey, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you pumped? Do you think this will capture 95% of the audience? Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU videos. And you can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.